Hello, everybody. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Does that sound okay?
You look good.
Cool beans. Welcome to the stream, guys. This is the first time we're doing something like this before, because this is the first time we're picking barrels in a pandemic. So we figured we'd try something new here. I'm joined tonight by Donib, Chris. He is a turkey fanatic. If you've been on Reddit, you've met him, at least virtually, as well as Sloan, also known as Dussel's Walnut. He's probably removed one of your posts already, if he hasn't already. But I'm super happy to be having both of these guys with me here tonight as we taste a Russell's Reserve single barrel bourbon for our bourbon. We also have John at TheBourbonFinder. He is kind enough to be our host tonight, which means he's turning the knobs and hitting the buttons. And if it goes black, you can yell at him. But super thankful to have all of you with us. This came together in about 72 hours, so sorry if it's been a little bit thrown together, but this is the first time we've done anything like this before. So I'm warming up a little Wild Turkey 101 myself. I'll let you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves a little bit, starting with John, and then we'll hit Chris and Sloan, and we'll get to drinking some turkey.
What's up, fellas? How's everybody doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Old Label Russell's here. Kind of tear into this while you guys go through. So I'm not going to be tasting the barrels that everybody else is because, well, that's just the way that worked out. And I'm just going to kind of keep the chat going and hopefully make things good and weird for everybody while we get through this.
I'm Chris. I thought this was going to be a private tasting, hanging out with a few strangers on the internet, but it turns out it's not, so happy to be here. I love wild turkey. It's what got me into whiskey drinking. So I'm excited to try these out.
And I am Sloan, Dustless Walnut. I'm not going to be tasting the first one with y'all. I gave that one to Chris because he has a better palate than me, and he's more of a turkey head. It's true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this came together super quick. And I also, when I realized this was going to be a live stream, I was uncomfortable with it. But here we are. So.
Cheers.
Well, it's how we all grow. You guys will notice that the first live stream I did like this, I actually rolled a barrel into like this tiny like fucking closet over there. So this is your first time. It's only my second time, so we're nice to do this together. But alrighty, yeah. Let's at this point I'm gonna kind of let John lead us through things. We have 4 samples here tonight. I'm very thankful for those coming through. That's coming from a buddy out in California who asked if our bourbon would be super interested in something like this, and I couldn't reply yes quick enough. For those of you that aren't aware, there is a pandemic going on, which has kind of affected our ability to get places and pick barrels, but we will still be continuing with a new riff selection, a driftless gun selection, a Chattanooga selection, and a couple more. We'll talk about maybe 1 or 2 more at the end of this and see if you guys are interested. But we figured throwing some Russells wouldn't be such a bad idea for the subreddit. In fact, about 5,000 of you have signed up already for this.
Holy shit.
So there are 1 or 2 of you that would like it. Before, that's about a 40% growth over last year. So it's kind of cool to see that more people than ever getting into this shit. But I think that's about enough talking for me. If you guys have any questions during this, feel free to throw them in the sidebar. We'll do some Q&A at the end if there's time. I'll get you guys on a couple of distilleries we're working on, but let's kick off with sample 0626 here. I think this one leaked a bit on the way to Dustless and Donib, but I have a tiny bit here as well. So
I'm going to be drinking some 90s 8101 because I don't have a sample of this one. So.
Absolutely.
I'll trade you some of this.
It's a good
Might be unfair to the rest of the whiskey you drink tonight.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even need any of this. Cool, yeah. I'll save a little bit. I have a good local buddy who wants to try some of this, so we'll save a tiny bit. But yeah, so we have not tasted any of this. I think they smelled it because it leaked in their package a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But,
well, to be fair, there was a lot of leakage, so I just smelled the whole shebang.
A lot of bubble wrap on the nose, along with some white cardboard.
Yep.
That's great.
All right, so I think this is just Chris tonight, but so I probably should have poured this a little bit earlier, but
I'm actually taking that cue to pour the rest of mine now, just so they can air.
Oh, there you go. Cool. Wow. What do you think, Chris?
It's good. There's a lot of sweet brown sugar, like most decent bourbons. But there's a little bit of floral hint, like potpourri, I get at the end. But I also have about 0.27 of an ounce. So
I think that's the perfect scientific amount.
Great.
oh, wonderful.
Yeah, that is the 42 of whiskey.
Yeah, that's what it said on Ask Jeeves anyway.
Isn't that what an actual dram is called? It's like some ridiculously tiny fraction of an ounce. Yeah, this is ooh.
I feel like with 5,000 signups, we could just, take all 4.
Yeah, we'll just send a quarter of an ounce to every single person.
There is the potential that if we do really like all of these, I can pick up the phone, so that's always nice.
Nice.
But yeah, wow, lots of brown sugar. You're right, it is pretty floral, like a lavender almost.
What are you drinking, John? The Russell's single?
Yeah, so this is the old label Russells that I cracked
Who's it
it
from?
here. It's nice. I don't think it's a store pick. I think it's just a shelfie, actually.
Nice.
Ooh, that's a little hot on the palate, but these are cast drinks, so.
Do we know the proof of each one, or
No, the both the pro and con of this is all I got.
It's as blind as it gets.
They asked if I wanted extra info, and I actually was like, let's pick these as well as we can pick them.
Yeah, classic take. Keep it as blind as possible.
So
the
Chris,
626 is not the proof? That's what I was going on.
right.
It does. Yeah, maybe it'll calm down. I'll leave a little bit of this hanging around, but the finish is really nice. A little bit of pepper, but whew, it's a little hot on the palate.
Beefy.
Yeah, there's
we
like a
don't-
bitter drying oak to it too. That isn't unpleasant, but I imagine if you really weren't into oakier whiskeys, it might be a little abrupt.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely it's really dry on the tongue, especially in the finish too. But it does leave a little bit of heat behind.
Yeah, it's nice though. Can't complain.
Yeah. If you had to guess, what do you think? Like 8 years, 10 years? I'd probably put it towards the older.
I would too. It's always hard because I've had 8-year-old whiskey that tastes really young and shitty, and then I've had 8-year-old whiskey that I'm like, oh, this is like 12 or 14 years old. But I would agree. I would say maybe 10 to 12.
Yeah.
Do they limit us on the age?
Go ahead.
Do they limit us on the age?
As far as I know, there's no, other than what they do in-house, there's no limit on the youth or how old. So it could be really old, but I kind of doubt it.
No. Sloan, viscosity, it's hard to tell. It's not super thick.
Can't really swish it around, I'm guessing. Not at all.
It rests pretty thick on the palate. Like, it does feel pretty oily, but not in like a dusty way. It reminds me if Rare Breed was as good as I wanted it to be, this is what it would feel like.
That sounds about right.
Nice cask strength, non-chill filter rare breed. I know a particular Rare Breed 101 who's been asking for such a thing.
Haven't we all? Yeah, okay. This is interesting. Let's you've saved a little bit left, right?
No, there was,
Okay.
I can link the
There
Glencairn.
wasn't a little bit to begin with. Really.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Well, that's definitely the toughest one. So why don't we go ahead and we'll blend this out a little bit. We'll do 0623.
Cool. I can
I
join
like
that.
the High West mug, by the way, Chris.
Thank you.
So
Is that
everybody,
Brought it for
LG?
street cred.
Is that the first one? Oh, you don't
Yes.
get the new ones anymore because you moved, right?
They go to my mom's house for some reason, and High West won't respond to any of my emails saying, "Hey, I moved like 4 years ago." So I don't know.
That is amazing. No,
Maybe they prepaid some brand like 5 years ago for 10 years, and like Constellation's not even involved anymore.
Yeah.
that actually would ring. I unsubscribed briefly because I was like, these cocktail recipes suck. And then December rolled around, and I was like, why didn't I get a mug? And then 7 months ago, and I was like, you fuckers. All right, so let's see. This is save a little bit of this.
So everybody's got this sample, right, Jay?
Yes. I believe so.
Yes.
So we're going to be comparing this to the brown sugar that you guys are getting on the nose in that first sample. Dustless is going to imagine a nice brown sugary nose from the last one.
Well, he had a nice brown sugary nose on the last one.
Mm-hmm.
He probably did.
Yeah, his probably was.
What I'm known for. I mean, it's still Russell's, so it's still some brown sugar on that nose.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Dunn is asking why we don't have any warehouse info. The way these samples came through, there was a chance to get the info, but Jay wanted to do these blind because he likes math and other things that are blind. So we're going to go ahead and get the info after. And I don't know, maybe he'll write it up in a post and reveal everything if we're able to get that. But for right now, we just get the barrel numbers.
For you two who tasted the previous one, how dry is this comparatively on the finish? This is pretty dry for me.
This one?
Yeah.
Haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
Ooh, I'd put this. God damn it, Lane. I know who you are too, so I know you're picking fun of me. We don't need to crowd barrels here. I think that in fact, we're not allowed to by law. I think this is about as dry. I'd maybe put it a touch under, but maybe it's been a while since I had Russell's, but this is these are both pretty oaky to me.
Yep.
Same. Yeah. This is much less bitter. I think the finish is pretty dry.
Right.
It's even though I had a lot less than my Glencairn, this is much lighter on the nose.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot less going on there. That one was kind of punch you in the face.
I do like, so the nose here is a little bit closed off, but the palate has a lot more flavor with a lot less, it's not shrouded by as much ethanol here. I'll try it with a little bit of water here in a second, but the finish is still a bit dry. This is definitely on the oakier side for Wild Turkey, at least for the modern stuff.
It's not super floral to me. You guys both mentioned the previous one was floral. This one is not.
Yeah, all that floral is gone. This is like a
clove, warm
brown sugar, clove, like maybe a little bit of tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
That white pepper note that our bourbon loves.
Dark sweets, all the dark sweets.
Oh yeah,
dark sweets in this one actually.
Doug just perked up a little bit.
It looks a little bit like I have some Christmas lights behind my head, Chris, because
you do, don't you? Or is that like a server?
I have Christmas lights behind my head. I wanted to kind of break up the background a little bit. I've got just the sound foam behind me, and I just wanted to try to separate it a little bit. Try to put a little interesting light feature back there for you because I thought you might dig it.
Looks good. Very romantic.
Very, very professional.
I wanted to keep it intimate for you guys.
That's what we needed.
Is this where you do your ASMR videos?
Yes, and where I narrate all of my erotica.
That's how I recognize your voice.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I thought you were number one
I've
on my
heard that
list.
Yeah, the musty nut. Ha ha ha.
Yikes.
Yeah, so the fun part is I was supposed to wear a jacket too because we are going to wriggle it up. And then I did what I usually do and I forgot.
You did. I checked in actually. I was like, damn it, I never asked Jay what color suit he was going to wear. And I don't want to show up wearing something that's either, if I have something that's the exact same, I want to do it. But if I don't, I want to make sure it's totally different. I either want it to look like a uniform or like we didn't plan it at all.
Nice. I only eat black t-shirts, and that's what I wear every day.
Yeah. Like whiskey from home, I'm not wearing any pants.
Well,
yeah, you two do look very...
Yeah. I've got some baby spit up on my shoulder still, I think. So, you know, if I had known.
Grown up spit up, so.
It's only slightly better.
Yeah, certainly.
Kurt Good, we don't know the age.
I think the minimum on these would be about 8. if I'm not mistaken. I mean, legally, there's like a minimum, but I haven't seen too many single barrels coming out under 6.
We can hope not, Joel.
I'd be pretty surprised if these aren't pushing 10.
Yeah,
Especially by the
from
way
what I'm tasting, this
that much oak through them.
yeah, this is.
I don't know. Maybe it was a fucking hot decade in Kentucky, and it's
It
just
could be that too.
Anything's possible.
it's
Let's,
really oaky, really oaky.
Let's compare to 763. We'll see if one of these opens up a little bit. I'm gonna rack these up.
I have like the faintest whisper of a sip left on that one. So
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I wish I could just like airdrop a little of these over.
Yeah, I'll put that in the feature.
John's like, yeah, I wish you could too. Are you still on that Russell's, or are you on to the Forgiven?
I am right now about to go grab some of the Forgiven. I'm going to put the Forgiven between the old label Russells and the Rare Breed Rye, I think.
Which
one in there?
Okay. Ooh.
Oh, this is different.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Yeah, if I had to guess, the first two were definitely like 10, 11 year. Pretty standard.
This one's super caramely.
Yeah. This is like dessert.
Now you're talking my language.
Oh, that's totally different on the palate too. Whew.
Yep. It's like a completely different whiskey.
It's almost like a s'more kind of.
Mm.
Definitely, I think a little bit younger, at least a little bit less oak. Wow. What do you think, Chris?
I haven't tasted it yet.
So we're talking dessert.
Really fucking sweet. Yeah, it's really sweet.
Sweeter than your brown.
Are we allowed to swear here?
Oh yeah.
If you don't, actually, you might get downvoted right to hell.
Perfect. All right.
I think the bot kicks you off like if you haven't dropped a bomb in a while.
It does, actually. And it's been tracking your poor performance.
God damn it. I'll work on it.
Okay.
Good effort. Good effort. Yeah, wow.
That's nice.
Ooh, I really like this one. This is the nose is still. I'm noticing the nose on all three of these seems a little bit more closed off than I'd expect, but this palate has a ton going on. Some graham crackers, some caramel.
Yep.
Like a creme brulee, and maybe there's like a little light fruit, but like very, very light. Like
We talking dark fruit. We talking apples.
I'm feeling like almost like a strawberry note.
Mm-hmm.
Like a really, really faint strawberry, but with some pepper and
Yep.
Man.
I get pepper.
It sounds so far like you're pulling a lot more out of this one than you did the second.
yeah. This one, I think the palate. So the finish on this one, at least to me, feels a little bit shorter, much less oaky, which is kind of my jam. But the palate just has. I could kind of sip on this one for a long time. Ooh.
Yeah. The previous two had like a sour note because of that, whatever it was about the oakiness.
Too much tannic going on there.
This one might be a touch too sweet for me.
Okay.
Generally, like it's almost like Pepsi Challenge. Like first sip, it's fantastic, but like if I was drinking an actual pour of this and not a quarter of an ounce, it might be too much sweet. But it is really tasty.
That is fair.
So we're going to work in that Goldilocks zone there. We went from being a little too dry, a little too tannic.
Mm.
Now we're moving up, a little too sweet.
Yeah, man. This is. I mean, so at the most, I think people get like one bottle of this if it's the barrel, but like this would be really good in a cocktail, like a bitters heavy bourbon cocktail.
I don't disagree, but I don't want to. I wouldn't relegate it to cocktail territory. Like that for me, that's like it's fine. I'll mix it.
That's what
I would actually really enjoy this.
So before you guys get too far with this one, why don't you put a couple drops of water in there to get it down closer to that 110? If it's drinking a little too sweet for you, if you still have some of the previous pour, you might want to do the same with that one to see if it opens up that oak a little bit.
If I water that one down, I'll just be washing the glass.
One drop of water, swirl that around for 20 minutes, and let us know what you get on the nose.
Yes, I put 2 or 3 drops in here. Oh yeah.
A little shout out here from.
Do we know who Rarebird 101 is? Is that someone that we know?
That's someone that we know.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is David Jennings of Wild Turkey Superfan.
Nice.
Just released the Wild Turkey book. You can check it out on wildturkeybook.com.
Awesome.
And the world's best guerrilla marketer. Wow, this is
Dana, we do not know what proof the samples are. We are almost completely blind on this.
they're certainly north of 110 proof. But we don't know by how much. If I had to guess, I would say this is probably like 115. And the other two were a little hotter than that. But
Thanks, Rarebird.
Yeah, I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
Especially comparing like the bitter. I do like bitter oak, so I did not like the first ones, but this is much more like what your standard bourbon would taste like. It's very sweet. It's very caramely. The like ethanol, the burn is really nice. It's not. It doesn't shock you like the other two. This is kind of like wraps your tongue up and is like, hey, buddy.
it feels really well integrated.
Yeah. And the finish goes on for a pretty long time. It's a lot lighter, but not. It didn't lose anything because of that. It's good.
Yeah, the 623, the bitterness lingered, and 763, the a bit of ethanol burn and sweet is lingered. Which if I'm drinking Russells, that's what I want. There's stuff that I want that like oaky bitterness to linger on.
I agree.
It's not
I agree.
Russells.
Wow. All right. So I think so far this is probably my favorite, but I'll wait till the end to see. The last one we have 766. So my guess is, and it's only a guess, this one's pretty close to number. I don't know if these barrels were nearby.
Are the numbers relevant, or are they like picking number? Are they actual barrel numbers?
I believe that this would be the barrel number. Yeah.
It should be the barrel number.
Otherwise, we have a very creative distributor,
Right, yeah.
which is
I
kind
think
of
this as blind as possible.
Well, Chris, if you look at the labels on yours, when those showed up and they were wet, completely wet,
Oh no.
I couldn't read them at all, and I was like, well, fuck, with 4 samples that I don't even, we have no idea what any of them are.
I had a mystery the other day I drank, and someone was like, show me the label. And I was like, this is it. And they're like, that's a blank label. And I was like, I know. Like,
That's why it's a mystery, bro.
they're like, why
I
are
have
you
like
pitching?
I have like fucking 50 mysteries from people from Scotch Swap era where I was like, I know what this one is. I'll remember the label. And it's like, nope, I just have, you know, probably fucking 40-year-old ridiculous bourbon and like ridiculous Scotch that I'm just, as far as I know, it's nothing.
You'd be proud. I finally, I think it was about 10 days ago, I had my very final Scotch Swap sample.
No shit.
And I was like, this took a lot longer and also not nearly as long as I expected at the same time. And then I remembered it's been like 2 years.
I have I have probably hundreds left.
Yeah,
And
I'm
that's
under like 200 samples now, and it feels like really good. But then I was like, what was this number to begin with?
Right.
Man, okay, so this one, 766, seems pretty different on the nose, too. This one has probably the most rambunctious nose that I can think of.
It's a good descriptor.
I guess busy would be the...
I'm getting like...
I think rambunctious is good. I like it to be like borderline out of control.
I'm getting like sage and sugar on the nose.
Yeah. Almost like a hint of basil, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Sage, basil, like something herbal, but not like bright green.
Not like rye herbal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, question here: if you guys are pulling any cherry notes out of this, doesn't sound like we've had any of that yet.
Actually, like I was reading that as I tasted 766 for the first time. It's not super cherry, but it's the most.
This is the most fruity.
Cherry. Yeah.
Wow.
So the previous sample was doing pretty well for you guys. A lot sweeter, creme brulee, dessert type of deal. A little bit of fruit in there. How is this stacking up to that? Since this one seems to be a little bit more on the sweet side.
This one seems a little medium. Like it's smack dab between the two ends of the other two that I've tasted. I didn't get to taste the first one.
So we're slowly encroaching upon that Goldilocks zone then, but we had a little bit too much oak, a little too much tannin on one, a little too sweet for you on the other.
Yeah, this is definitely the fruitiest, I think. Little hot on the palate again, but in a good way. You know, it's not punishing. You know, I'm not upset by it.
Would you go so far as to call it well behaved?
Yeah, it does seem
One of my favorite tasting notes on the take reviews.
well behaved.
I like when it's well behaved.
What do you think of that one,
I'd
Chris?
shun this. Yeah, what's up?
Give me a little bit more time.
Okay.
Man, that rib rye is so good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like everything about that. I'm a rye guy, though. I'm a sucker for it.
Me too.
What's the mash bill? Same as all the other ones. How's that for a non-answer?
That's like there was an attempt, like gold star.
Yeah, what is I don't know what Turkey's mash bill is. I assume pretty high corn.
Yeah, I want to say it's like 75.
Yeah.
Be willing to bet that Redbird knows.
Yeah, for sure.
In his book.
Or 78, something like that.
I think 75, but I'd Google, but there's like samples all over my keyboard. That's how you know you're getting the true experience. Like I can't Google shit right now. Yeah, 75.
13, 12.
Excellent.
Thanks, Robert.
Yeah.
They don't come any more well-versed in wild turkey.
When we do a Buffalo Trace tasting next, we'll be in real trouble. We won't have anyone
Fuck.
helping us out.
You could just keep the same mash bill and call it good.
Yeah, so this one, actually, I really like the finish on 766. Maybe the best of all. But like,
Man, I like that one.
yeah, this one's
I like 763 and 766. I
Hit it with a-
kind of feel like 766 is that. It's got a little bit more oak. It's got a little bit more going on than just like sweet bourbon.
Yeah, this one, it definitely seems like the most complex. Like the other ones are really good, but like, at least personally, it's dessert. Like it's caramel, it's vanilla, it's creme brulee, and that's kind of where it ends. But this has, I like how it starts a little bit vegetal spice, and then it goes right into a fruity dessert kind of note. But the finish is probably, you know, as John will make fun of me for, probably the most behaved finish, despite having a really full mouthfeel.
I like everything about that. Nice full mouth. It's all well behaved.
It's like raising a kid, I guess.
How do you feel, Chris?
I like it. I feel like so it starts off with like the nose. There's like a ethanol that's baked in with oak, which is really nice. I didn't get as much sage or anything like that on it, but on the palate, I got a lot more of that herbal flavor with like a slight bitterness. And then the finish is like I think this is the thickest mouthfeel without, like the first one we had 626 was like a aggressive mouthfeel. This one is just like a really, really thick cherries, although we probably it's just because someone said cherries and now we're all like, oh, cherries.
Yeah. Just start fucking saying random tasting notes to us.
Yeah.
And
So-
I saw
Roadkill
one musty
Bingo
nut already.
Roadkill Bingo wants to know what stands out in these for you guys. If you had to pick just a couple of your, check off your top 3 notes, and let's start lining those up. Slow.
I'll let you start. Chris, if you
so
want.
for 623 for me, bitter oak and sour. I don't want that whiskey, actually. Give me a second for the other two.
So the first one, yeah.
Let's try to do these all together here. So give the your input from that same barrel if you could, Jay.
And I did 623. This is number 2.
Chris and I will do 626 at the end. How about?
Yeah, let's save that. Quick sidebar on that.
Yeah, it almost, that's a really good suggestion. It's really oaky, but almost to like an overly bitter, overly tannic, in a way that I don't super enjoy. So if I had to give 3 notes, I would say that this is bitter, this is tannic, and this is a little bit laborious. It's kind of work to drink. It's really hot. The mouthfeel is really great, but it's also really super hot. It's kind of like that Chardonnay Bourbon Crusaders pick. That we're like, this is great, but also like it hurts really bad because the mouth feels thick.
That's fucking Pepsi Challenge, man. That's like
it's 70.
It's not great. It's different, and then you buy a bottle and you never open it because you remember what it tasted like.
Yeah, so it's bitter, it's tannic, and it's a lot of work.
Okay,
those are my 3.
I just compared it to the first one, so it was less bitter oak, but still pretty damn bitter. I have a nice question mark hot. Like, it's not the heat didn't really bother me all that much, but it was still really fucking hot. And then brown sugar, it was so bitter oak, brown sugar, and nice hot.
Nice hot, well behaved even.
Burnt popcorn.
I don't want to steal his IP.
It stays in.
You can take it. I don't want it.
No, you're gonna have to keep using that. If I don't see that in at least one review this next week, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
It's like the cat that follows you home. You're like, shoo.
Yep. Now that we put it out there, you're just gonna have to keep going with it. So I did put the banner back up on the screen, but anybody who's just jumping in and checking this out with us here, these are the dudes from our bourbon, and they're going through selecting a Russell's Reserve pick right now. We've got 4 different barrels that they're tasting through, and we're now at the point where we're kind of comparing notes and going to start to trim this down, and we're almost to the point where I think we're going to start kicking a barrel out here.
So I would we just did 623. I guess the next would be 763. My feeling on my 3 words for that, I think that was I don't know who asked that. Caramel as opposed to brown sugar. Sweet vanilla. It's really easy. It is a light sipper. Jay said mixer, and I agree, but not because it's not good, but just because
it gets all those classic.
It would just work. Yeah. Little tiny bit of spice, nice sweetness. It's tasty. I don't know that I'd pay Russell's prices for it.
So it's coming across as a little bit average, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can.
Average good.
Yeah.
There's certainly there's nothing wrong with it, which I think is like quintessential Russell's. Like I've never picked up a Russell's and been like, ooh, there was this big flaw. But this one's not standing out for me. And then, man. This reminds me of that old Smooth Ambler 7-year bottling that used to be around, and like really super solid. I get caramel, almost light peanut, just like a very faint peanut, and like almost like a pecan praline note. So like we're kind of hitting that dessert trifecta, like lightly nutty, super sweet, no fruit, no spice. There's really no pepper. So yeah, we're going full dessert here. Toffee, praline, lightly nutty. I like it. I agree. I would be happy to drink this, but it's a bit pedestrian.
So I'm going to go with... So I think I agree with both of you. It tastes like a very much like if you were to say, what does bourbon taste like? You would give someone a glass of this. It's very sweet. It's very good. I have bubblegum down. Bubblegum, really fucking sweet. and the ethanol is really nice in it. I think it could have just been the juxtaposition of those first two, where my palate's like, oh shit, what is this?
I agree with you. The ethanol note was actually really nice. The warmth of the ethanol as it lasted through is nice, and it's unlike the other two that I've had.
Can we save that last sip of this one?
Did we or should we?
Yes. If you didn't,
Jay, we're going to need you to
be banning you.
The last quarter of a quarter ounce that you have. Send it out.
If you guys were like next to me, I could just be like, open your mouth, like baby bird it on over. Like, all right, guys, we're gonna have to like fountain this, but we can do it.
I'm not positive, but I think that'll get us kicked off YouTube.
Wow.
That's true.
That's
Lane,
what our
I would
tastings
not
look
call
like in Denver.
3 musky. I would not call 763 musky. I don't even know that I'd call 623 musky. It was just dry.
Would you call it musty?
It wasn't funky oaky. It was dry oaky.
I would totally agree. It wasn't like that pipe tobacco musty oaky sometimes you get. It was just like.
So if I was going to say any of the 3 that I've tasted are musty, 766 would edge towards that. I would say yeah. I get a cherry note. I get some of the bitter oak must that I wanted in 623. And not as much of the heat, not the same type of heat that I like from 763, but I do like the heat that's in 766. I wish I had more of it to drink. Both to get a feel for it and just because I like it.
Man. Yeah, I agree.
Benjamin, go away.
766 is the most like mellow corn, I think.
Yeah, cask strength mellow corn is coming. Just be ready, guys.
Wow. Yeah, both 766 is easily, I think, in my opinion, the most complex, but in the way that I enjoy. Like, I think that 626 was pretty complex, but it was also just way too oaky for me, which is something that I don't typically love. But I don't know. I'm not usually like kind of a vegetal spicy bourbon person, but like I love that this starts with basil and ends with like strawberry cream and cocoa. So I guess if I had to 3-word this, yeah, I would do basil, like just straight creme brulee and like a strawberry sundae kind of on the out. I think this is easily the most complex to me.
Herbal, slightly bitter, and thick cherries on the finish. I like it.
Yep.
So we're ready to start trimming one of these off the selection.
Whoever said cherry, thanks.
I already banned them. Don't worry.
Next time we do one of these, someone pipe up with burnt rubber, and that'll be the prevailing note of the night.
Tastes like money.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, so for the
easy sticker to make.
626 too. I'm revisiting the 626. I don't know if you have any left of that, Chris.
So this is sample 1.
Yeah, this was the first one that was kind of the.
Okay. So Dustless Walnut doesn't have this one, guys.
Nope.
No.
And it sounds like he wouldn't want it anyway, so he's doing all right.
Yeah, even revisiting, this is just this is straying into that punishing combination of ethanol, oak. This one's kind of peanutty too. This kind of makes me think of a less desirable Knob Creek, like someone mentioned, which isn't really what I want from a Russell's, I don't think.
Nope.
So I think that if you guys don't have any objections, I would move to maybe we'll strike 626. We'll put it on the back burner.
Based on everything I know about it.
Yeah, I don't. If I want like super oaky bourbon, I'll get like one of those crazy Eagle Rare selections that just taste like dirt, or I'll drink Blanton's.
So
actually,
unfortunately,
so
I have
like-
to ban Jay now.
Really feel.
I tend to like oak. Elijah Craig 12 was my wife and I drank it daily for several years, and I loved it. But I realized that you need to be in a certain mood for that much oak. But both 626 and 623 kind of remind me of the level of oak in that. Like it's really heavy, it's really sugary, with maybe sometimes a little bit of nut in there. I think they're interesting. I don't know if like the masses would be. I think they're better for small tries. So I'd be fine with 626 getting the axe.
I have so many fucking bottles that are open that I bought because they were interesting that I don't drink.
Yeah.
Because they were not
Well-
interesting, not good.
You've got so many open bottles, period.
That's
So
true.
we're not
That's
going to use that for.
I just poured some more of the 8101.
That's a
Ooh.
good.
And I would say that it's somewhere between 766 and 763.
Okay, I kind of wondered.
So
where
this
it's
is true
got,
Goldilocks.
it's super desserty. Like, it's got also a lot of oak and bitterness in a good way. I don't know. Like pencil shavings. Yeah, actually, GM Bob Myers, I would say that 623 was pretty much like pencil shavings for me. I did not enjoy that.
It was the wrong kind of oaky for me. Like some things I'm like, ooh, that's oaky and I can
Yeah.
fuck with it. But like,
It's the kind of oaky that you're like, oh, that's why they bottle bourbon at like 7 years old.
Younger age, yeah.
exactly. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that we can safely, 626 wasn't bad, but I think that we get to pick out of samples for a reason. So we'll leave that guy behind.
Yeah.
Um,
None of these samples were bad. I would drink all of them.
Certainly. Yeah. Trying to think. Let's see, 623. I don't know. 623 was still so oaky for me, but
Mhm.
not in such a bad way. But I think I'm gonna lean towards the 700s. Maybe they're batting 700. Who knows? But these are. I think these are definitely my favorite too.
I didn't have a lot of. I want to say 63 was my short pour. It might have been 766, but in any case, I didn't like 63. I wouldn't want to buy a bottle of that. I might just to support the subreddit if it was 5 years ago, and maybe we wouldn't sell them all, but I imagine we're going to anyway. I don't know. If I was recommending one to someone that doesn't drink bourbon, I might say 763. It's super fucking easy to drink. It's delicious.
Mhm.
Let's pretend that you're recommending one for a bunch of whiskey geeks.
I
go to
would
a
pick
subreddit
766. Like very easily, I would pick 766 personally.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got a vote on the board anyway.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think 626 and 623 are a little too brash. 763 is nice, but very common bourbon tasting you can get from like a $20 bottle of Buffalo Trace,
Mhm.
Right.
which I enjoy drinking.
Sure,
not-
nothing bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I do think 766 is a little more interesting than 763. But they're all those two are very, very drinkable.
Yeah, 763 is like almost crushable. I could be like,
Oh, here we go.
which I've said like.
I can abandon
I don't
Jay,
know,
guys.
it's
Sorry.
so-
Like you said, like I would mix with it, and it would make a fantastic bourbon cocktail. I wouldn't mix with it to like get rid of it, because that's what I normally say when I'm going to mix with it. But no, it's great, and it's like good baseline flavor. But like 6.6, as you said, 7.66, much more complex.
Yeah, I totally
It's
agree.
tasty.
It's not bad, but I think we have better in the yard here. And for those of you that can't find Buffalo Trace, just come on up here to Wisconsin.
Yeah, just move north and you'll get it.
Or Colorado.
You get cheese.
Yeah,
actually,
Colorado, it's
stay the
everywhere.
fuck out.
Yeah,
Yeah. We also have
Was it
Buffalo
recently?
Trace barrel selects. There's always like a dozen of them.
Yep.
yeah,
everywhere.
same. Yeah, I stopped buying them because I was like, shit, there's just going to be more of them. And now I have
Yeah.
7 of these.
And they all taste like Buffalo Trace.
You could like shuffle the stickers and be like, I don't know.
Actually, Chris, you got one. I want to say last year that was actually pretty fantastic. I don't know where it was from.
Probably Argonaut.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually reminded me of 763 a lot. Just like
Yeah.
very drinkable. Yeah.
All right, so I think that I might know where we're leaning on this, but I just went back to a little bit of 766 here. And I think this might be the ticket to ride.
For me, I agree.
So
I wouldn't be upset if we
going
picked
once, going
763. I actually think 763 would be, people would really enjoy it. If it's our bourbon, though, and people who I assume have tasted some stuff. 766 is more complex and tastier. I wouldn't be upset with both. But if I could only buy one, I would probably buy 766.
So now a fun part of this too. So part of the sign up process I gave people was a little section to say, hey, tell me anything you want to tell me. And I get a lot of fun, not serious stuff. A lot of emojis, a lot of Imgur links that aren't appropriate. But some of these are like, hey, I'm like super new in, and I'm brand new to our bourbon, and I've never seen something like this before, and I think it's the coolest thing that's ever gone on. So I'm thinking that maybe, I can't, there's probably not a good way to figure out who would get what originally, but if we can maybe get a second barrel out of this, I think that 763 might actually be
I'd buy one.
well received.
Yeah.
Who the hell is paying $100 for Eagle Rare?
What?
Kenneth Rathburn? Oh no, he's seen it.
Oh, thank God.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure
I've seen
someone's
shit.
paid it.
I've seen shit pretty high too. That doesn't mean anyone's buying it for that.
Yeah, that's bonkers. I think it went up to $28.99 here, and I was kind of like,
That's a bit
How
rude.
dare you.
and then it sold out, and I was like, what?
I just
It's
swapped
really
over
great
to,
to
I
hear.
think, our bourbon selection, OBSF.
Man. So, all right. So does anyone, I don't think I'll hear any disagreement. 766, the winner. Yay.
Yep.
Yay. Nay. All right. Well,
Like for me, 766, 763, like barely under it, and then like 623 down here.
okay.
I don't know what the other one. I don't even know the number of the other one because I didn't get to taste it.
I think you did all right with that.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that's what I'll try to do. I think that 766, man, I think it's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones I wanted. We finally found one that was fucking awesome.
There's been some. Surely you read the Gobble series.
I read a little bit.
Actually, I think that's it too. People ask me like, why haven't you had a Russell's lately? I was like, because a year ago I drank like 50 of them.
Yep.
I dream about it sometimes. But yeah, okay. Well, I think, yeah, I really like this. I think this is a great selection.
Yeah. I'm gonna kill my last, not even sip.
I'll save a little to taste here. But yeah, I'm pretty sold. I think it's funny too. So I still have some 101 that I was warming up with. And sometimes I wonder, like, is 101 all you need? And no, it's not.
Current 101?
Yeah, I picked
Oh,
this up.
okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this isn't your fancy stuff.
Okay.
I bought this for. Yeah, I got it for whiskey at home because they're like, you should show bottles that you like, and I was like, I don't have any of these, and so I ran. Where's the code? This is an LLIC, so I don't know if that's supposed to be good or bad, but it sure tastes like turkey to me.
I suppose that's good then.
But comparing it, yeah, 766 is miles above this.
So it sounds like we actually made some progress here on trimming off some barrels and potentially picking two if they both become available.
Yeah.
Jamie, I was tipsy before we started, but thank you.
Yeah, he woke up this way, guys.
This is just what is today? Tuesday? Yeah.
It's COVID, man. I don't know.
It is.
It's COVID, and I've worked from home for a decade. Like any concept of days of the week have gone out the window.
Yeah, I like stand in the shower now, and I'm like, do I work today? No. And I get up. I do work today. Okay, that's gonna change things.
Yeah. That means I'm putting on pants, not shorts today.
I'm wearing shorts.
Okay,
I
fair
mean,
enough.
you're showering, which is a win.
Step in the
Right.
right direction.
That
Yeah.
is true. That's a hurdle some people just don't get over on a day. But yeah,
So-
this is, go ahead.
Listen, do we want to tear open some Q&A here with
Sure.
for any of the folks who have stuck around here with us for
Yeah,
50-something minutes of bullshit?
yeah. There's about 70 of you. I'm actually. We were talking beforehand. I was like, I don't know if there's going to be 2 people or like 50. And 70 is higher than both of those numbers. So
Yeah, we settled on a solid guess of about 9 in attendance. And I was going to go sign into like 8.
I don't know if we
different
settled on that. I just said that.
yeah. So what I'll do with these two, for those people who are wondering, I'll type up some notes around this. I'll try and this is recorded, so I can go back and rewatch it, and I'll write down what we all said, and I'll put it up in one of those nice tables, so people who don't want to watch 56 minutes of video can just read through it real quick, which I think would be well received. But yeah, hit us if you have any questions.
Yeah, if anybody wants to throw down some Q&A stuff.
Completely useless. This 4 roses we picked 5 years ago is great.
Is it?
It's good that you get around to opening that.
I'm shocked.
Right.
Yeah, totally. So I apologize. I really like Dana Carvey, so I'm gonna pronounce your name Dana. But if it's Donna, I apologize. Yeah, barrel picks are really interesting because they're done differently no matter who you do them with, and also where you do them and how you do them. Like if you're doing it during COVID, it's probably remote. But like, yeah, if you want to split a barrel with a lot of people and if you haven't done it before, your retailer is probably gonna want to know that you can pay for it. That's a big one. A barrel whiskey is about $9,000 based on what you do. Some retailers are like, nah, I'll sell it anyways, and you don't need that up front. But some retailers, maybe if they're new to it, they're going to want to see that money up front. So as long as you can, we like to do interest checks like I did for this, a sign up. Tell me what you like, what you'd be willing to pay and how many bottles you want. And if that number is about twice what a barrel is, then it's a go. People are very willing to tell you they'll buy something on the internet, but when it's time to buy it, they won't.
Mm-hmm.
So there's about 50% attrition or so.
Fucking people.
And just saying from the Scotch side of things, it's like 10% low.
Scotch is really low.
Yeah. So you'll get 1,000 people to say yes, and then 100 might buy it.
I think there was like 73-ish% attrition when we did the Scotch picks last year.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's a lot of people. This is great. And then I was like, where'd y'all go?
Which, fair enough, shipping, international shipping costs, I get it. But
yeah.
Yeah.
And a good thing to know too is, what are your retailers' expectations? That's a really big one that people don't consider. Like, some retailers don't care if you sell out on the first day, and some really don't want it. It's kind of a headache to do 220 orders in a single day for anybody.
yeah.
We're lucky that some retailers are like, yeah, if you sell it in a week, that's cool. But if it takes a month, I'm good with that. So you might be able to negotiate and say, like, if there's 200 bottles, we want 100 privately, and you can take the other 100, and that might be super cool to them. So it really, I think the relationship with your retailer is probably numero uno.
So to piggyback on the last question, Adam was asking about how many bottles you're expecting, which is a total crapshoot. I mean, I've seen Russell's barrels yield in the 60s, and I've seen it yield in the 140s.
My guess is, based on the tasting notes, will be somewhere in between that.
Yeah.
If you go with 766.
Yeah.
So kind of piggybacking on that with Kenneth, if we happen to get both, and I don't know, Jay's going to have to figure that out, we can definitely put, 766 and 763 were very different, and we can put our conglomerate notes. I can write, a sentence or two for each that I thought, if we pick them both. If you want something easier drinking, more bourbony, less complex, but tasty, totally grab 763. unfortunately, with these things, if we have 5,000 signups and it's Russell's, so I imagine they're going to go. It might not matter what your preference is. It just might matter if you click fast enough.
Yeah.
So how do you determine how many bottles can be produced from a barrel, and how does that correspond to tasting notes? I think. Let me jump in real quick, and then I'm going to give it to you. I'll tee it up for you. How's that?
Do it.
So the barrels are all going to start with the same amount of liquid in them, and then obviously with the evaporation, depending on which floor they're on, the heat and everything like that, you're going to lose a certain amount of alcohol and product. And you can compare that with the tasting notes with what Jay is about to tell you.
Yeah, so it's a little bit difficult because everyone ages a little bit differently. I mean, no one can fully calculate evaporation, but most places kind of know what the barrels are putting out at a certain age. That said, to go even lower, I know a Russell's barrel that popped out 18, so I think that's the ultimate short barrel. But it's really hard. Most distilleries will say you will get within this range, and they'll be a little bit less. So, New Riff said you'll probably get 210 bottles ish.
So Jay, do they tell you that when they send you samples?
This was
I know we didn't this time.
Stuff. Yeah,
I know we didn't this time, but like New Riff, if they're sending you 3 samples and one of them's 18 barrels, are they going to tell you that ahead of time?
Oh yeah,
or 18 bottles. Sorry,
you got to you have to have a relationship to even probably get one of those. It's not worth their time to ship 18 bottles around. But yeah, if you're on premise, they'll say, if you want a 5-year product, you're probably going to get 190 to 210, sliding scale. But if you're going for that crazy short barrel, I'm sure you're on premise and you know somebody and you're making a day out of it. And you're probably taking a couple barrels.
Cool.
Dan, I just wanted to follow up your barrel bit question as well. This is a pretty easy one and done answer on this one, but basically you're going to need to talk to the end retailer. You're not really going to get an answer out of a distributor or distillery for the most part. I mean, even if they want to work with you, that 3-tier system is going to get in the way. So your best bet is either build a club, pull some money, and hit up a retailer, or get out your checkbook.
Yeah, because both the distillery and the distributor want to sell you whiskey. They want to sell you whiskey so bad, but if they don't have an endpoint to sell it from, they can't sell it to you. So start with your retail and work back. Retailer knows your distributor knows the distilleries, and if they don't know them, you can always introduce them. And I've seen some great relationships start that way, with one crazy guy going and sending emails and getting distilleries and distributors connected, and then picks pop up. Ooh, that's a great question, AC. I'll let the other guys start.
I got nothing.
From the man who has everything?
I mean,
he has everything from 10
the
years
man
ago.
who has everything from 4 years ago. Once you get to a point where you have bought a lot of whiskey, you just kind of stop buying shit. So unless Chris or one of my other local guys has bought something, I'm probably not going to have tasted it.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Most of my bottles have been open for at least 4 years. I recently bought a house and had a baby, so everything I buy is like on sale, or like a single barrel that's $20 or $30.
Or the baby.
So
yeah, the baby.
I haven't sold the baby yet, but she's.
What are they going for on the secondary?
So yeah, we might get there. Yeah, so I don't chase after much anymore. So I don't think I have a good answer to that at all.
Yeah, I'll be honest. So I had the rare breed rye. I thought that was pretty good. Let me pull up my recent archive. I'm still like reviewing lots of old stuff. Let's see. What have we hit here lately?
While you're queuing something up, I'm currently on the OBSO from our first barrel select from
Four Roses.
Not as good as the F.
Oh,
little more sour.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, so I think I've had a couple of Four Roses picks that were younger that I think that people. I'll get to you just in 1 second, Steven. I think I've had some younger Four Roses that were screaming good, especially like an OBSQ. Chattanooga, I've had a couple things that I thought were really wild. I got excited because I was like, ooh, I have all this stuff that I think is best, but it's like Van Winkle rye from 2015, so that's really cheating.
Yeah. definitely cheating.
Honestly, the best stuff I've been drinking lately has been mezcal. I've had some mezcal that's just been slamming it out of the park. But for the cost per bottle, the year is young. We're 6 months in. Look, about October, I should kind of know where things are trending. But this is being retailed from a California retailer, so this will probably be in the $68 to $70 range. So a little high for a pick. I usually see picks around here about 55 to 59, but there's a lot of work that goes into these kind of things, and especially shipping samples around and stuff. So it's on the high end, but I think it's fair. I don't think I go much higher. But the Our Bourbon new riff was 54, I want to say, maybe 53.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're super cost averse, like, don't be super scared. This won't be the last thing we do this year. In fact, I can guarantee it. And we should see some cheaper stuff, or not cheaper, just less expensive. If $70 for Russell's gives you hives, I totally get it. But
right,
I'll be lining up for 766.
Just a couple more questions here before we kick it over for any special announcements that you guys want to throw out there, and then maybe we'll sign it off here.
Sounds great.
So Eric's asking you guys about the 3-tier system, and effectively how does that impact everything when it comes down to the selection process, and how does it work out for the group in the store?
Either you guys want to take this, or do you want me to?
So I mean, you would probably know more, but ultimately, if you don't have someone to sell it to you, you're up shit's creek. Like, the distillery can have a barrel they want to get you, but they're not going to go and find a liquor store that can sell it to you, or a distributor that can get it to them. So you really want to start at the liquor store level. Unless you know someone at a distributor, but start at the liquor store near you that does good barrel picks, and go in that direction, essentially.
Yeah, that's at least for Our Bourbon too. I try and really stick with a retailer that I think is doing good stuff and can also hit like at least half the United States. It's a little bit different. We're lucky enough to have a lot of people. So if we have a lot of people and we cut that in half because they can't receive it. But one thing we do let people do, if you win and you live in a state that you can't receive, but you have a relative and someone that can, like, ship it to them. Get it at Thanksgiving, get it at Christmas, figure it out on your own time. Reddit's been crazy skeevy about how they enforce rules about what they think is right and wrong.
Yeah, we're not on Reddit. So if you have a friend in a state that they can ship to, ship it there and have them ship it to you. Like,
yeah, do that 100%. Yeah. Stuff like that. We try and make it, it's not like any of us want to make it tough. We really want you to be able to get what you want, but sometimes the rules get in the way. But yeah, that's, as long as we can hit half the country, that's my goal. In some local stores, it's a little bit harder, especially if you are starting this. Like, you might be the guy with 200 bottles in your basement trying to mail them out on a Saturday, and that shit sucks. So I would encourage you to find a retailer that can ship at least like some of it. No one wants to pack 200 boxes on a Saturday.
Jesus.
On any fucking day.
No.
So let's
or deal with 3 times the calls from Redditors.
Yeah.
Who, like, didn't get an order through or had it in their cart and didn't. Yeah. It's a fucking mess. So if you happen to buy one of the barrels that we select and shit doesn't go perfectly, like, shoot an email. Don't call them immediately.
So let's wrap this up here on a little bit of a lighter note. And looks like he just grabbed a bottle down.
Yeah, I've two for you.
Let's see a favorite bottle or two from the collection up there, and then I'm going to hand it over to Jay for
2 standouts.
Closing statements here.
An 18-year Heaven Hill.
It's my favorite bourbon.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I drink all of his.
I think I welcomed Chris to Colorado with this one, the first tasting we did. It's an 18-year cask selection from the European Bourbon Rye Association from Heaven Hill, and it is ridiculous. I've got like 2 ounces left of the first bottle that I haven't decided to drink yet. I was actually going to give it to you, Chris, when you had your first kid, and then I didn't, and I was like, maybe I'll hold up for a bit.
Time to fire out another kid there, Chris.
And then the other one,
tonight.
The Willet 2494.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Just it's from the same era of like Rathskeller and all of the ridiculous Will It Rise. And yeah, I've killed a bottle, and that's what I've got left. And I don't know, 50th birthday or some shit like that.
Perfect.
I dig it.
Those are the two standouts for me.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Well, I think first off, thank you guys for all of your time, John. I appreciate you you manning the desk and killing it.
Totally.
And Chris, Sloan, it's super cool. You guys probably don't know this, but Chris and Sloan and I haven't seen each other. Well, Chris and Sloan have seen each other, but because they're neighbors and stuff. But this is the first time we're doing something like this. I had no idea what they'd look like. And you know,
you had a pretty good idea. I mean, if you guessed what I looked like, you were probably correct.
I had someone ask me the other day, and they're like, "What's the demographic of people that pick barrels?" And I was like, "They're probably Caucasian, and they have a beard, and they probably work in software, and they're 30 to 55." And I think I nailed that.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was confirming it, but yeah. So guys, feel free. They're on Reddit. I'll post their handles if you want to talk to them, ask them questions. They're super cool guys, and I appreciate you guys. You know, you have lots of shit to do, but it's cool that you came out to drink some whiskey with us.
Yeah.
You gave me free whiskey, so I'm not complaining.
Win-win.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to find more from John does a lot of cool stuff too. You can find him at TheBourbonFinder. He also runs the Whiskey Net, which I think is pretty nifty. It's a collection of Discord servers for everyone that's involved in whiskey, and he does a lot of management type stuff, which is cool. Dustless mods everything that's ever existed, and he does a pretty good job at that. Chris, as far as I'm concerned, you're the guy that drinks turkey, or that's what Sloan told me.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk turkey, he's your guy. And I'm Take. I mod some stuff. You can call me Jay. You can email me.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Take, yeah.
Okay.
You were kind of calling me like T8KE or Take.
I went with Tate Key.
Yeah, that's another one. But
Siri
yeah,
lied to me.
Say it one more time.
Take. Just like take a stab at it. Like give it a go.
Okay. Okay.
So you can find me wherever. You can find my website where I post reviews. You can find me on Instagram. But my final question to you guys is that potentially we might do more of these things. Would anybody be interested in maybe doing a smooth ambler selection? It'd be about 5 to 6 year MGP, about $50, a little bit cheaper. If this is something you're interested in, you guys, you listening at home, I'll make an announcement later this week. But we do a lot of crafts, but I think that there's a lot of opportunity to do some non-crafts, even if it's being sourced. So if you have thoughts, yay, nay, let me know. But, maybe we'll bet it on the ponies and do some smooth ambler coming up soon. So
nice.
That's all I really got. Thank you guys again. I hope you have a great night, and I hope you all stay healthy and are good to each other and, drink some good booze. So
Thanks,
have a good
y'all.
night, everybody.
Bye, all.
Cheers, guys.